Good evening and welcome to the channel's studios here in London with your international news around the world in 5. The Proud Boys' former leader, Enrique Tarrio, has been jailed for 22 years for orchestrating the attack on the US Capitol on the 6th of January 2021. It is the longest sentence handed down so far over the attack, which happened as lawmakers were certifying President Joe Biden's 2020 election victory. Tarrio was not in Washington during the riot, but helped organize the far-right group's involvement. As he was led from court, he flashed the two-fingered peace or victory sign. The Department of Justice's sprawling investigation into the riot has so far seen more than 1,100 people arrested and charged.
We didn't have much time to speak afterwards, but of course it all caught us a little bit off guard, where the sentence was imposed in the manner it was imposed, as far as sentence of 22 years, being one that was run consecutive to another. But yet that's what the appellate process is for, right? So that's why we're here. That's what we anticipate is going to go forward from this point on.
Torrential rain and winds caused by a cyclone have left at least 27 people dead in southern Brazil, with more flooding expected. The governor of Rio Grande do Sul said it was the state's worst ever weather disaster. Thousands have been forced from their homes. In Mucum, a town of 5,000 people, hundreds had to be rescued from their rooftops as 85% of the town was flooded. President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva said the federal government was ready to help. African leaders have proposed new global taxes and reforms to international financial institutions to help fund climate change action. The Nairobi Declaration capped the three-day Africa Climate Summit in Kenya, which was dominated by discussions of how to mobilize financing to adapt to increasingly extreme weather, conserve natural resources, and develop renewable energy. Organizers emphasized market-based solutions such as carbon credits in the lead-up to the summit.
As a continent, we have developed our common position, which encapsulates our ambition for socio-economic transformation and our climate action agenda. This position is anchored on the potential that Africa holds to decarbonize the global economy and set the stage for green industrialization throughout the world.
The main border crossing between Pakistan and Afghanistan has closed after forces there fired on each other. Local residents ran for cover as the sound of gunfire rang out at the main border crossing between Afghanistan and Pakistan, with Pakistan saying security forces from both countries had exchanged fire. The Torkham border point, the main point of transit for travellers and goods, was closed after the incident. The US Secretary of State Antony Blinken is in Kyiv in Ukraine in a gesture of support for the country's counteroffensive against Russian forces, which has ground into its fourth month. During his two-day visit, Blinken is likely to announce a new package of US assistance worth more than $1 billion. That's according to a senior State Department official.
I'm here in large part at the behest of President Biden.
Blinken, on his fourth overall visit, is the top US official to visit Kyiv since the Ukrainian counteroffensive began. The UK government has finally published a list of schools identified with collapse-prone concrete after days of mounting pressure. The document showed the start of term had to be delayed at 19 schools around the country as a result of reinforced autoclaved aerated concrete, or RAC. The list came just before the first Prime Minister's questions since the summer recess, where Prime Minister Rishi Sunak told the Commons the government had acted decisively to ensure the safety of children. And a Congolese arts refuge is helping street children find their voice, giving them the chance to express themselves through music and rap. A small recording booth in the outskirts of the capital, Kinshasa, has become a safe space for homeless teenagers to sing about their life on the streets and dreams of a brighter future. The chance to record in a studio has inspired dozens of poor but determined children to dream big. The founder hopes the skills they hone will help children find their feet and their voices. And that's your international news around the world in 5. Now back to the channel's studios in Lagos.